A little bit, almost time. We do have a short agenda, so if you good, we will take care of it. I know we've got things happening this evening, so definitely give us an opportunity to take care of that. Hey, senor, how we doing? Awesome. Awesome. Hey, Luke.
Hi.
Sir.
Thanks for coming over, watching over Dad. We appreciate that. All right.
Good job in that place.
All right, it's 6:30, so if you can actually show us getting started at 6:30, and let's go ahead and take care of roll call. Paula?
District 1 Alderman Joseph Morrow.
Present.
District 2 Alderman Sam Cortez.
Present.
District 3 David Emery.
I'm here.
District 4 Michael Rodriguez.
Here.
And Mr. Cade is absent.
Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you please rise, join me for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with
much. Appreciate that. All right. Matt, you said you didn't have anybody take a look. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go items number 4 while we check the list. Citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the city council. May not discuss any present issue nor any action be taken on an issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each.
Nobody signed up, sir.
Okay. We have anybody last minute? All right. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 5, consent agenda. Jump into A, consider approval of the minutes. Let's take a look at November the 14th, 2022.
Mayor, I want to go ahead and get it started. I want to make a motion to approve the minutes for November 14th, 2022.
Okay, got a motion on the floor for us to go ahead and approve. Got a second? Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to number 2, November the 28th, 2022.
Mayor, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes for November the 28th, 2022.
Okay, got a motion on the floor for us to,
Second that.
got a second? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Paula, thank you so much for the extra time taking care of that. Made it very easy for us. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to B, consider approval of payment of the bills. Lynette?
There's nothing really big on there. We are, the biggest bill on there is the rotor for the sewer plant. And, that's about it. The rest of them are just normal. I will need approval for the end of the month because we are not having, council because I have only got a minimal amount of bills in at this time on the 12th. So everything will start coming around the 15th.
And the only caveat is that rotor replacement you see up there for 25,000 is the initial. We'll have another payment for labor, any additional parts they had to order that they didn't foresee, and then the reinstallation of it when they come back.
I think last meeting's actions
Covered all that, yeah, covered everything.
so we should be able to be good to be able to do
And the
that.
44,000 you see on the waste management, that's our new bill for bulky waste. So I haven't received the other one yet, but that's what our new bill looks like, that we rebuilt.
Awesome. We actually have the extra bulk pickup.
Yes, they gave us an extra bulk pickup this month, starting the 28th. So please get the word out. This is an extra one. On the 28th of this month, they'll start again. And then in January, we'll have our first one of the quarter.
So anybody gets refrigerators and stuff like that for Christmas? Yeah. I always remember spotting my dad being real sneaky, trying to get a washer in so my mom wouldn't notice, making all this racket. So I always remember that. All right, and get a motion for us to
Yeah,
go?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the bills as presented and also that we give authority to our financial director to pay the bills at the end of the month and notify us at
We'll
the
just
next meeting.
double cover it. That'll be good. Awesome. Got a motion on the floor?
I'll second that motion.
Yeah, second? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much. Appreciate it, council. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the public hearing portion of it. Number 6, and this is a public hearing regarding the city's proposed submission of an application to the Texas Department of Agriculture for one or more Texas Community Development Block Grant Program, Texas CDBG grants for program year 2023.
And council, two representatives from GrantWorks are here. I don't know if they want to come up and explain. This is something that we need to have happen before the end of this calendar year for additional points on our grant, just to let the community know that we're applying for one, see if anybody has any comments or any input whatsoever on this grant cycle. Would be the time to tell us.
Anybody? Do you have anybody sign up either?
No, sir.
All right. right, so let's go ahead and show right now on this one. Let's go ahead and show 6:35 on there. Opening up the public hearing. I'll go ahead and ask one more time. Any public comments? Anybody on this? And now it's 6:36, so go ahead and show it as closed at 6:36 p.m. No comments. All right. Thank you so much on that. All right, council, let's go ahead and move on to number 7, open session. This is where we take action on items. The first thing that we actually have is an update from our local health authority on the COVID and other community health issues. While I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and call Dr. Neal. He gave me a call earlier and he said he couldn't be in person. He had a full schedule with telehealth today and it's been going long, so he's going to go ahead and continue working, but he said he would be ready. I told him somewhere around 6:30 to 6:45, so we're right in the window.
Hello,
All right, Dr. Neal, how you doing, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good, sir. I got you on speakerphone right now and on mic. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity for you to share your thoughts, provide an update, and give us some guidance as we go into the holiday, sir. So I'll turn it over to you.
All right. So certainly in the clinics right now, we're seeing an early flu season, but there's still plenty of COVID around. There's RSV is also early. We normally don't see that till the spring. And there's some adenoviruses and others. Usually this time of year, right when school's getting out for Christmas, we see a lot of strep, and we're seeing that too. So,
RSV, Dr. Neal, can you expand on that just for clarification?
okay, RSV is a respiratory syncytial virus. Normally, you worry about that in children, but you can actually get that as an adult too. It's one of the few viruses that you can get more than once. RSV is particularly dangerous for children under 6 months because RSV just causes a lot of inflammation in the airways, and for children, the smaller their airways, the more problem they're going to have if there's swelling. So most children, they're a couple of years old, you primarily treat them symptomatically with just plenty of fluids and Tylenol, and maybe helping them with the mist from a hot shower. Later, a lot of times it'll also help them cough things up. But small children that are breathing, once they start breathing 40 to 60 times a minute, you just have to watch their respirations. If they look like they're struggling breathing, it's time to go to the emergency room, because a lot of times they just need some additional help.
Roger that.
So,
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Neal.
all right. Well, that's the only reason to kind of discriminate between, or check for flu versus COVID or whatever, is because you can actually treat the flu with Xofluza or Tamiflu that may help you get over it faster. But I'd also like to put in a plug for vitamin D, and that there was just a study came out that said, again, people with the higher vitamin D levels had a lot fewer cases of COVID and fewer deaths from COVID. Now, the COVID we're seeing right now bears no resemblance to the COVID we had the last 2 years. And in fact, I haven't had anybody go to the hospital with COVID, I think, in the last 10, 12 months. But it still makes you feel pretty sick out there. But again, with vitamin D, everybody should get their vitamin D levels checked. If you're going to supplement with vitamin D at 2,000 to 5,000 units a day, you need to take some magnesium and vitamin K2 with it. The other point I'd also like to make is that vitamin D is good at preventing any upper respiratory infection there.
Got it.
But You need to take it. It doesn't do that much once you get the infection. Melatonin, on the other hand, one study showed it had decreased the mortality of patients in the hospital by 93%. Melatonin will work before you get the infection. Melatonin will work after you get the infection to help mitigate it. Melatonin works for any virus. So I use it to treat RSV. I use it to treat flu. I use it for shingles in mono. So, and it's extremely safe. So,
Got it. Well, good to know, Dr. Neal. We really appreciate that. Any last minute for the holidays, besides just being a little bit precautious? I know you always taught us about washing hands, taking care of the normal stuff.
Absolutely. It's primarily hand washing and just staying out of too many confined spaces with everyone. Other than that, hope everybody has a safe and healthy and a Merry Christmas.
I appreciate that, Dr. Neal. And thank you so much for making time out of your busy schedule and especially for taking care of not only our community, but the surrounding communities around here. We really appreciate your advice and we appreciate you being our local health authority.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Anytime.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So good advice for us, kind of get ourselves. So it sounds like we still got a little bit of bugs going around, so let's just be precautious. And it's good information also to get about our little ones too. Sometimes we think about all the adults and forget a little bit about the little ones too, being a little bit extra precautious, especially with them and the vulnerabilities that they have. Okay, that was A, and that was just an update for us to go ahead and have. Let's go ahead and move on to B. Consider and act upon authorizing an engineering services contract in the amount of $21,365 with TRC Engineering Services for the 2022-2023 street improvements project. Matt?
Council, you saw my briefing on it. Every year we do street paving. We're spending in excess of $20,000 for street paving, so therefore the project needs to be overseen by an engineering firm. We reached out to TRC. They've quoted that cost to oversee it. They're here tonight. You saw their proposal. I don't know if anybody's got any questions on exactly what they proposed to do. Simple project. They're just going to oversee the street paving, assist us with the bidding and awarding process. Pretty simple, straightforward to deal with. And we're going to work with them hand in foot. And we also need to start getting street names in that need to be paved. We do know there's one that has some construction going on with a water line, so that would have to wait until later on once we set down the money. So, give me my opinion as we approve it and move forward. The monies are paid out of our figures of obligation.
Are we gonna use some more money, some extra money that we got on our loan to do more streets this time?
Yes, we are going to have roughly $600,000 for street paving this year. In a typical year, we do about $100,000. Last year, we did $247, I believe. So yeah, we're going to be able to accomplish a whole lot this year, and then go forward. I'm thinking several things, not just coming over and just overlaying streets. We might identify streets that have some cracks in them that need to be filled and maintenance of those streets. Some streets may need some minor drainage work if we can work that in. But that's what we'll work with TRC and look at it. They really look at them, and if they tell us, hey, based off what we can see on that street, this isn't a good street to do because we really need to do more to that street. It's a simple.
Do we need to bring names?
Yeah, if you want to have, you can start emailing me names of streets, and I'll go forth from there with James.
There's one that we had talked about before. So there's one already being looked at with the Railroad Street, just because of the volume of vehicles that are being used back there now with the traffic getting diverted. And it's pretty rough out there, but we'll take a look at it.
Everyone email me your street names, I'll compile the list, and we can send it back out.
Okay. So council, if I can get an actual motion.
I make the motion that we approve the engineering service contract amount of $21,365 with TRC Engineering Services for street improvement project for next year.
Okay, got a motion on the floor? Sam, got a second? Okay, any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, good. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Craig. Scott, helping us out with that. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to C, consider and act upon authorizing an engineering service contract in the amount of $1,446,138 with TRC Engineering Services for wastewater treatment plant proposed plan expansion project.
I will turn this over to TRC and let them present. You may have some more questions on it. The only thing I'll tell you, if approved, the money's come out of the C of O 2022 series money we have. So it's already budgeted.
All right.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Craig Bell. I'm from TRC in Austin, and myself and Scott prepared this proposal, and I think you probably have copies of this somewhere. So it's an expansion of the wastewater plant. It basically doubles its capacity from 450,000 gallons per day to 900,000 gallons per day, average flow. It will take a new pump station down in the lower area of the site to receive the wastewater and pump it up to a expanded treatment plant. The process basins will be very similar to what you have out there now, if any of you have been out there before. The one thing that will be different this time around is there is a byproduct produced, biosolids or sludge, and you have to dry it out to take it to landfill. The plant that we did about 20 years ago at that site had drying beds that you can put the biosolids on and let it dry out. This time around, we're going to do something more of a mechanical design, so you're not, you don't have to worry about rain and cold weather that will actually allow the solids to dry out. So we're doing one thing a little different as far as how you handle the sludge and how you water it for disposal. Our proposal talks about the various components, the various treatment structures, and then also what our scope is. We will carry it through design, and then when the city does decide to bid it out, we'll take it into construction as far as construction administration. Maurice Reen will be doing the actual field inspection because he's down here local. So he would handle that part of it, but we'll take it all the way from, inception through completion of construction and handle all correspondence with the contractor, through construction commencement and then starting on the new plant.
And Craig, you actually, it was TRC that was involved with the.
It was TRC, and it was actually myself that designed it. It was around 2000 when we designed it.
Awesome.
We had, the city had some old pond plants that we abandoned and took them out of service and then built a new concrete plant. Well, I say new, it's 20 years old now, but yeah, so.
Council?
Will there be any interoperability conflict between the old and new?
No, we'll actually split the flows like 50-50 to the two plants. And then after it's treated, it'll convert before it gets discharged back into the creek. So they'll both be very similar processes. So the operators that know how to do it now, they'll know how to do the new part too, because it's going to be pretty much very close to how it's operated, how it works.
Good.
The mechanical sludge, is it gonna handle the current and new?
Absolutely.
And is it gonna have room for expansion or?
It'll take it up to the 900,000 gallons per day. And right now the plant's seeing about 200,000 gallons a day, so that's considerable. And actually the mechanical part, the way it works, even if the plant expanded to more, you can just operate it a longer period of time. And so it actually can even go further than that if need be, whereas the drying beds are really limited by their size and you're waiting on.
And we can do away with those.
Well, I would recommend you keep them because if something does happen with the mechanical, like temporarily and it's out of service and you're waiting for parts or something, you can still put it on the beds.
But
So
it'll become a secondary system.
that's right.
Okay.
That's right. Hopefully it's never used, but it's good to have it if you ever need it.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, good question. Yeah, definitely. Give us flexibility.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we try to do with all of our stuff that we have here. Anything else? Okay. Council?
I have a question for Mr. Deere.
Yes.
So the same question that David had, is there additional money? I understand this is coming from the money.
This is out of our
Certificate.
8.5 million, well, 7.5 million CFO series.
Is there additional money than that?
No, this is the money that we budgeted coming out of that money for this project.
So if we look at the 1.4, we're looking at about 19% of the overall cost. That's typical.
That's
I'm
what
asking
we-
because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we're depending on them to give us a call. I mean, that's what they said it would cost to design everything. And that's what we budgeted for. And that's when we went out and got that CMO money, we budgeted knowing this number in hand for that.
No, because I'm just used to seeing, I realize it's a huge project. I'm not questioning that. It's just because it was 19% of the total monies. I just wanted to make sure.
Let me give you some guidance there. I can't give you guidance as far as percentage of the bond package, but as far as percentage of, so usually looked at in the industry is percentage of your construction.
Right.
And for a treatment plant, you know, it's a lot harder to design a treatment plant than say a water line, for example. And so a treatment plant's gonna probably be in that 15 to 20% range. So the treatment plant is about 12 million and we're at 1.4. So that's maybe 15%, 13%.
No, I understand because there's a lot of entity involved in that. It's a lot
Right.
more. So
There's a lot of
that
different.
oversee, okay. That was my question. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Mayor, I was going to suggest that if the council approves that, that they then direct the city attorney to go ahead and prepare the engineering services agreement. What we typically would do is attach basically the basic elements of this proposal to the contract. Do that because this particularly large project is complexity, things sometimes go wrong. And so the city will want to make sure we have got assurances of the standard agreement. We tend to use the standard form that we use for a lot of other municipal type things, so it'll probably be somewhat similar to what they've seen before, but it'll provide a lot more contingencies just to address any issues that come up through the design, the bidding, construction phases of the project.
And all that's talked about in here,
Yes, yes.
you know, so we'd want that attached to whatever you provide.
Yes, well, we'll certainly review that, and,
Sure.
you know, we've not reviewed the proposal, so, and we weren't asked to do that yet, so, but certainly that's normally, we would want to prepare an agreement that could be, you know, obviously protect the city's interests.
So Jesse, you're asking for the motion to include directing our city attorney to assist with the services agreement.
No, go ahead and prepare the actual contract,
Okay?
contracted, and the amounts will be the same, and the same phases and everything will be all included in there, so it's just a matter of memorializing it in a form. Obviously, their proposal probably addresses, CRC is doing a lot of work with the city, so their standard forms that they probably have used, we incorporate as much of that as we could into the typical agreement that we prepare for the city for other engineering type services.
All right, Mayor, I make a motion that we authorize the engineering services contract for an amount of $1,444,138 with TRC Engineering Services for wastewater treatment plant proposal plan extension project, and also direct our city attorney to draw up a contract in conjunction with advice from TRC to make this happen.
A motion on the floor? Sam, you got a second? Okay. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, Jesse. We look forward to it. It's definitely a great thing for our future for our city. So appreciate all your help with this. That'd be great. Thanks, Scott, too. Appreciate your involvement. All right, let's go ahead and move on to D. Consider and act upon the nomination of Lido Volunteer Fire Department for the annual citizenship award.
So council, we had the extension at the last meeting. We didn't receive any other nominations other than the mayors of the Lotto Volunteer Fire Department. I'll turn it over to the mayor on his nomination.
So, council, we wanted to go ahead, based on some of the discussions that we had in previous meetings, about us taking a look at it, based on the way that we looked at as a council before. The one that popped up real quick was the Lido Volunteer Fire Department. The reason that they popped up is because they've been a significant, it's hard to describe. I will tell you, a lot of these guys and gals actually help out and make a difference in our community without getting paid for anything. And we can't let that go, especially on a year where we had a lot of them responding to one of the busiest grass fires years that we've had because of what was going around in this area. They took the time to get involved with that. We had some significant accidents around this area that they responded to. And they actually responded all the way to the other side of 410 too, when called upon. I remember one of the particular nights that they had to go and provide some help with other fire departments in the area. Matt, is there any other significant ones that I haven't mentioned that you can think of?
I try to stay out of this because of my history with the fire department, of course. But they've got a regional mutual aid agreement. We've got grant trucks, of course, that we got for free from the Texas Forest Service. So wherever they are called upon, as long as the resources are available, they send that apparatus. We would have been up at these bigger fires in near Cashville, but unfortunately we were fighting our own big fires down here. So there was this, I mean, they go all over. There are some paid staff that sits there, but the paid staff alone couldn't handle it. There's a bunch of volunteers that supplement that paid staff. And again, they provide their time of their free will. They're not getting any compensation for it. Their compensation is the will of helping people and taking care of their community and the little bit of training they get throughout it that hopefully gets them into a career. When I took over the fire years ago, we really did training. Training was a big priority, and I can tell you, we've had more guys advance into the career side, working for cities like Leon Valley, Bexar County, ESD number 2, in departments like that they're making it a career now. And then on their days off, either come volunteer or work on paycheck or something down here that still protect our community to this day.
And that's significant, just being able to have the people to volunteer. It helps our rating, our safety rating, based on the capability we have. And that's one of the things that we're very proud of. And that's one of the reasons for the commercial and the residential growth. That's one of the things that they look at. So it's been good. And a lot of this, just like Matt said, a lot of that is done by volunteer. So I feel, and I want to place in front of council, that it's important for us to take the time and select them or consider them for your consideration for them to be named the actual citizenship award, McGrath award winner for this coming year.
Yeah, I'd just like to add, I have a nephew that was a volunteer, very positive experience, and he's now moved on to a larger city, just based on what he learned here in Lytle. So I think that's an excellent choice. Mayor, I'd like to make a nomination I'd like to make a motion for the nomination of the Lytle Fire Department for the annual Citizenship Award.
Thank you. Got a motion on the floor? Got a second? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And Matt, if we can go ahead and work the logistics. Yep, so we can do it appropriately on one of the future meetings, hopefully here in the next couple of months. That'd be great.
One other thing, Mayor, if we could reiterate that we are still going to move forward with the committee for the Citizens Worship Committee in the future. So next year, we need to start working on that.
Yeah.
Start getting everybody involved that we nominated as a council.
Valid point. Get them together, come up with a nomination form
Yes.
and put the whole thing together. Definitely. So we'll make sure in the next couple of months, we also take care of that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to E now. Consider and act upon authorizing engineering service contract with a TRC in the amount of $4,000 to review the application from Lytle Loft Self-Storage LLC to rezone and plat a 12.472 acre lot located at 1970 Highway 35, Lytle, Texas.
Okay, council, this is a typical service agreement we do with TRC. They will review this information that this developer has bought that tract. They'll submit it all to TRC. They begin the review process to ensure everything that they're doing over there meets our ordinances, and they look at a multitude of things for us. So that way we can ensure they're doing everything correctly. That's a cost of $4,000. Again, that's something we pay initially to TRC, and before releasing final plat, recoup any of that money back from that developer. So it's really a wash to us.
Where exactly is this?
This is the old machinery auctioneers along 35. The gentleman bought that property. It's kind of a weird L shape. It runs back into the back and then turns left where the mini storages are now, and then all the way up to 2790 up there where they have the office spaces.
And is it going to be more self-storage? Is that what it is?
Yes, initially, yes. He's got a car wash up on 35, a self-serve drive-through car wash he's looking at. He's open to anybody that is looking for a pad site, he said, that he'd be more than willing to negotiate with them. But a majority of it's going to be boat trailer storage and mini storage.
It's taking the big building, right?
The one up front on 35.
Yeah.
And maybe look at office space, different things like that.
Go on where you are.
Yes, sir.
Close it up, make it climate control, and add some storage stuff in there. Yeah. We get a motion. Let's go ahead and approve this.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to authorizing the engineering control service contract with TRC for the amount of $4,000 to review the application from Lytle's Loft Storage, Self-Storage LLC to rezone and plat, was it 12.472 acre
Okay.
tract located on 19750 IH 35 Lytle, Texas.
Got a motion on the floor? Got a second? Okay. Discussion? The thing I want to add on this is us approving them to go ahead and review, so we'll have another chance for it to come back to us once it gets reviewed. So
Yeah, all the final plating, once it's done that, we'll still have to go to P&Z and come back before council.
So we'll still have a chance if there's anything else that comes.
And rezoning, I'm sorry. rezoning.
Yeah. So all that will come back to us. So, all right, if there's no other questions or discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, well, we're doing really good. There you go, 7 o'clock, 7:02. That is awesome, awesome. Let's go ahead and 8, executive session on here. Jesse, do we have anything that we need to go into executive session?
Nothing reports.
Thank you so much, appreciate that. So we'll go ahead and say none on that. Go ahead, and let's go ahead and move on to item number 9, informational items. So this is a perfect opportunity to pass any information we'd like to among ourselves. I do have some stuff I want to share, but I'll go ahead and put it out. And Annette, anything? Richie, you know? Ola?
Good.
Good?
Good.
Sam? Guess any reattacks, anything else? I'll go around this room over here. Santi? All right, I'm back over here. Grant Works is happy. They're smiling back there. Sandra, anything?
Just, we put it on the website already that we're gonna have, Christmas crafts and movies at the library, but it's already on the website.
Oh, cool. Cool. And the Christmas, when?
It'll start tomorrow and go through the whole month of December.
The whole month, every day?
Every day we'll have something while we're open.
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely. We need to get that out.
It's already on the website, so.
Awesome. But let us know if we need to push some stuff. We will take care of that. And actually, do want to say thanks to Richie and Santi for putting out the information on the pets for adoption. So
We're still working out the kinks, but
Yeah.
we'll get it started.
I appreciate you guys working on that. That's
The image
awesome.
didn't make it out, right?
Yeah, it's funny because on my phone, the image is not there, but on my desktop, it gives you the option to upload the image. So
I
what
didn't see it in my email.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get Santi to put a page on their website, and I'm gonna link it into mine.
There you go.
So we'll figure it out. It might take a few times to get it, but it's new, so we're, figuring it out.
Yeah, I like your description. I was ready to see the kitty cat.
That was his description. I'm not good
Oh,
at
okay.
describing animals. I'm better at describing crooks than I am animals.
That's funny. All right. Okay. Oh, James is over there. James, anything you need to share? Nope. Okay. I do want to take the opportunity to go ahead and, since talking about James, hey, I just want to say thanks to Public Works. You guys have been busy the last few weeks setting up a lot of multiple areas, along with all the hayride prep and stuff like that. And Matt, thank you for being out there too, helping out with a lot of that stuff. Not only the mental, but the physical portion. But I do want to say thanks to Paola. Thank you for taking the time with all the decorations and doing all the work with that, the hayride, the meal that was for the city employees and putting those things together. So really appreciate it. To PD, hey, thanks for keeping us safe. It's always good. We don't have any problems, anything happening with escorting the vehicles. That was a pretty long line of vehicles that you guys took care of with all the
Well,
trailers.
The way you tell that is by how long it takes you to like get from this intersection over here, like in front of HEB, to come back up to catch it on Main Street. Normally, you can come back up and you're sitting on Main Street waiting. And like the long ones, I had to turn around, and by the time I got to Main Street, it was coming up. So I could tell it's a lot different than years past. So it was pretty long, but it worked out. Weather held out.
Yeah, you guys did an excellent job of taking care of all that. It was 1,184 from what we could count that we had. So huge turnout. I don't think that's the largest. I want to say that we've had.
I think there was 1,600, I think, on there.
Now, I think those were probably inflated.
Yeah.
Well, I've been at all of them, and I'm gonna tell you, Matt's been at all of them. I started here first when we had 99 out here in front of City Hall, and I'll never forget, the registration line went from the front of City Hall all the way around the side of the building, and we thought, what in the world have we got ourselves into? You know, so, I don't know for sure, but there was a lot of people.
Well, there was, but definitely, I mean, from the times that I've been doing it, I know this is one of the largest ones. But I think what worked out really good, Matt, you working very closely with James and getting the trailers, getting all that set up. It made it more bigger trailers. We could load more, and it was a lot more in the sense of the waves as we were capturing them and getting them out there. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, we had a flat operator.
Yeah, we actually, yeah. We had one that had to be decommissioned, and luckily it was a small one, so it had the other ones. I did want to go ahead and say thanks. We had a few other key players that were helping us out. City Hall, Lynette, thank you so much for stepping up and jumping right into it. We got an initial wave, long line of folks and stuff, and just trying to balance things out over there. Yep, and Darcy. We had a lot of great volunteers, the auxiliary, the VFW, stepping up and helping out with all that. That was huge, without a doubt. But we also had some folks that actually helped out, and the band was the first one coming down the road. So it was great music, set the tone for the hayride as it actually started. And then we had some businesses that were doing their thing right there to get people pumped up. And then we had Mr. Richard Hughes on the way back over at Memorial Park. I heard people, they could hear him to the other side of town. I guess he was pretty loud.
He's got one of them voices.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
I've been here in coal mine.
here in Coal Mine. So, I mean, it was pretty loud, but he was working the crowd, working the trailers. He already has some ideas for next year of other stuff to do for Christmas cheer, and I think that worked out really good, being able to do that. But great participation. Yes, please do.
A little bit more about the band. Early that morning, Mr. Cheshire took the concert and symphonic band winners from the competition we had over here a week ago down to Pleasanton for the regional concerts. They went down all day Friday, came home, went down Saturday morning early, practiced again, did their concerts, ran out to the van, came up here, and they were getting out of the van as we were getting calls that they're starting to line up the trailers. And by the time the first trailers came around, they were ready. And they were all exhausted to the bone, but they stayed here until the final bunch of trailers went through, and they finally went home and went to bed. So Mr. Cheshire and band, good job.
Yep. And I will tell you, that just because of what I was hearing, I talked to Dave and I told him, look, if they need to go, they need to go. And this was after the second run because he could hear. And the answer was,
well, Mr. Cheshire said, we can go, we can stay. He said, I'd love to go. I'm exhausted, but I'll take votes of the band. And probably 90% of the kids said, no, we're staying.
and they stayed.
Yeah. So
the character of those kids, I mean, that's just unbelievable. So
Yeah,
as soon as the last run went through for the folks, they actually tore down and they actually headed home. And, they've been pretty busy. And guess what's happening tonight?
Tonight, Christmas concerts at the high school.
They have junior high going right now, and then at 8:00, I think the high school starts.
Well, I'm going to make junior high if we get out of here.
Oh, yeah. We'll take care of that. We're going to take care of that. Okay.
And all the monies and the funds, Paula's and I got together first thing this morning, having split up, the checks are done, signed, and done. So everybody's got what they
We
need.
got good
We're all good.
good money and good cans. That's awesome. And by the way,
We
for
got
the,
a lot more cans than I thought. We got more cans than money. I think we brought in $492 or $98 total cash, but the majority of it was cans.
some more of those cans. So that's pretty good though.
So we're still got to split out the cans, and otherwise everything's taken care of.
And council, for those of you that are new, just so you know, those cans are divided up between here and Natalia. We actually take care of two pantries by doing that. So we've been doing that for a few years. All right, let me go ahead and press on. Just a reminder that TxDOT is going to keep working on the frontage road on the other side, on the Best Western side. They're not going to touch anything on the Bill Miller side, but be prepared after the holidays. We'll get an update. That one will probably end up going to a one lane. They'll start tearing it up. But between now and then, because of the volume of vehicles that we get here during the holiday season, they're going to leave it alone. So stand by on that. They did a great job of turning it around real quick and getting us caught up with that. Kudos to PD and Public Works. Thank you for getting our sirens back up 100%. We appreciate getting that up and running. So that was great. We had a little bit of damage over a previous storm, but we're all good to go now. Meals with the Seniors. Paula will be working and sending stuff out. Please pass the word out. We're shooting in the middle of January for us to go ahead and take care of that. So she's working very closely with a representative to take care of that, but please get the word out. Reminder that we're right around the corner, even though it's not until May, but we do start taking submissions for elections in January into February. January into February. So I think we have this side of the table that it's going to be. So there's going to be some decisions made in here, but we're also going to have the opportunity to try to figure out what we need to do next. So we'll talk at a later point on that. Please don't forget, for council members, make sure that you turn in your financial forms that legal has asked us to go ahead and complete. If you have not done so, please get them in so we can go ahead and take care of that portion of it. Birthdays, today was Wayne's birthday, so if you didn't get a chance to catch him, today was his birthday. And then we have Anthony and David on the 21st coming up.
The license was just started.
Was it? Okay, I need a new roster. Give me an updated roster so we can go ahead and make sure that we get everybody's in there. All right. Any last minute? Anything else? All right. We don't have anything else. On behalf of all of us, we wish everybody a great Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. There'll probably be some emails. Remember, we're not having another meeting this month, so you'll probably see some emails, informational, or anything that might be coming out of City Hall. But many blessings to all of you, and thank you for what you do and helping us out. But this is a time to focus on our families and enjoy a little bit more time of taking care of those things. So we're going to do that for the folks over here in City Hall too. They're still going to be open, but we're going to work around some of the schedules so they also get a chance to be able to work or be able to be around their families. Okay, with that in mind, it is 7:14 right now. Can I go ahead and have a motion for us?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adjourn and we all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Roger that. Got a motion on the floor? Got a second? You got to say it in Spanish. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
There you go. There you go. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?